Welcome, traveler of the heart. Welcome. Beautiful soul who has grown tired of weighing your own worth on the scales of others. It is no coincidence that these words have reached your ears at this exact second. In this universe, not a single leaf stirs without the permission of the wind, and no servant hears a word that is not destined for them. If you are here, if you have met with this voice, know that your soul let out a cry for help, and the heavens have sent an answer to that cry. I see you. I know that subtle emptiness that aches right in the middle of your chest, beneath your breastbone, when you lay your head on the pillow at night. You are constantly giving, aren't you? Just like carrying life water to parched soil, you continuously tear pieces from yourself and give them to your loved ones, your family, your love, and your friends. You swallow your own sorrow so that they do not feel sad. You tear holes in your own wholeness just so they do not remain incomplete. You stare at your phone screen, mourning the message that never arrives, the ringtone that never sounds, the attention that is never shown. Somewhere deep inside you, there is a profound fear. If I don't call, they won't call. If I don't take a step, this bond will break. If I don't make an effort, I will be forgotten. This fear has wrapped around your heart like ivy, making it hard for you to breathe. You are thrashing about, trying to make yourself indispensable in someone else's life. But how strange it is. The more you thrash, the deeper you sink. The more you chase, the faster they run away. As you let your love flow like a river, they build dams, and you ask yourself, where am I making a mistake? When my heart is so pure, when my intentions are so genuine, why am I always the one being ignored? Why does the one who loves the most suffer the most? My dear friend, you are not making a mistake. There is merely an ancient secret you have forgotten. There is a truth hidden in the very essence of your own soul that you have forgotten. Today, we have come to open the door to this secret. Today, we have come to stop those endlessly running feet and to bandage those constantly bleeding knees. I want you to listen to this video until the very end, engraving every single word into your heart. Because this is not just a video. This is a session of profound healing. This is your ticket back to yourself. Now, before we begin this journey, I want you to seal your intention right here, right now. Go to the comments and sign this covenant with the universe by writing this. I value myself, and the love I deserve flows to me with ease. Write this. Let this be your first step. And lean back. Take a deep breath. Do not close your eyes. Just soften your gaze. Because what I'm about to tell you is your own story. Once upon a time, in a distant land where truth hung suspended beyond time, there was a vast and fertile garden. The soil of this garden smelled of musk and amber, and its wind caressed the soul. Right in the middle of the garden lived 2 peach trees, planted close to one another. One of these trees was far more robust, more majestic than the other, its branches reaching closer to the sky. Its trunk was thick, its leaves were shiny, and its posture was proud. The other, however, was much more humble, thinner, perhaps a bit frailer, but its roots were firmly anchored into the earth. The larger tree was so enamored with its own shadow, its own fruit, and its own magnificence that it looked down upon everything around it. It wanted to absorb all the sun for itself. It wanted to drink all the rain solely into its own roots. One day, a fierce yet fertile wind blowing from distant lands carried a rare flower seed into this garden. This seed was no ordinary weed. It was the seed of an enchanted flower, one whose fragrance could intoxicate kings and whose colors could dazzle the eyes of anyone who saw it. The seed drifted and drifted and fell right at the base of that majestic, proud, large peach tree. The seed asked for permission to mingle with the soil. "O mighty tree," it said with its frail voice, "I have come from afar. I am exhausted. May I sprout in the coolness of your shadow, in the compassion of your soil. Will you allow me to take root?" The large tree shook its branches in fury. Arrogance spilled from its leaves as it thundered, "Never! My soil is precious. My water is barely enough for me. I do not have a single drop of water, nor a single inch of soil to share with an obscure seed like you. Besides, if you grow, you will rival my beauty. Perhaps you will steal my water. Begone, let the wind take you wherever it will." The little seed's heart was broken. Its head bowed. Just then, another gust of wind blew and rolled it right to the base of that humble, thin peach tree nearby. The seed, trembling with fear, asked the same question. "May I rest here beside you for a while? May I extend my roots into your soil?" The little peach tree opened its branches like an embrace. "Welcome, bringing joy with you," it said with a soft voice. "The earth belongs to God. The water belongs to God. Who am I to withhold his property from his guest? Come, settle down beside me. We will share our water. We will share our shadow. Loneliness is meant only for God. You shall be my companion." And so the seed entered the soil within the embrace of that compassionate acceptance, that unconditional giving. Days chased nights, and nights chased days. The seasons turned. That seed sprouted, grew, and bloomed into such a flower that its fragrance could be smelled across 7 realms. Its vibrant petals turned that corner of the garden into a piece of paradise. And this is where the true secret began, my dear friend. Drawn by the scent of this flower, bees, colorful butterflies, and the most beautifully singing birds began to flock to the corner where that small peach tree stood. The bees landed on the flower, then flew to the branches of the tree. For the sake of that beautiful fragrance, the birds built their nests in the tree's branches. Thanks to the pollen carried by the bees and the blessings brought by the birds, that small, frail peach tree came to life and grew so strong that its branches bent under the weight of its fruit. Every single fruit became sweeter than honey and brighter than a diamond. When the owner of the garden arrived, he saw the abundance, the vitality, and this magnificent beauty in this corner. "There is a miracle here," he said, and directed all his water, all his fertilizer, and all his care to this tree and the flower at its base. But what about that arrogant large tree? The tree that said, "I need no one, let everything be mine." Not a single flower bloomed beside it, not a single bee visited, nor did a single bird land on it. The coldness of isolation dried up its roots. Its blossoms, left without pollen, bore no fruit. And because the gardener lost hope in it, he cut off its water. That majestic tree dried up, rotted within its own selfishness, and turned into dead wood. Now, stop and think. The small peach tree in this story never chased anyone. It did not run after the bees. It did not beg, "Please come, land on my blossoms." It merely stood in its own center. It merely became the one who accepted. It found its worth in sharing. It opened its soil, its heart, to beauty, and beauty, that is, the flower, naturally drew abundance. The bees, the birds, the water, to it effortlessly. You, who have been chasing those bees, those birds, that attention for years? Could it be that you are rejecting the seeds falling at your own base? While running to be loved, could you be neglecting that very essence of yours that is truly worthy of being loved? The little tree had deciphered the secret of "let them come to you," because it knew that where there is honey, bees will not be absent. Where there is a flower, butterflies will not be absent. And where there is peace, people will not be absent. Friend of my heart, now that we have planted the truth of this story into your mind, come, let us take an X-ray of your soul. Why do you constantly feel the need to chase after someone? Why can you not stand where you are and wait, absolutely certain of your own worth? The ancients say, there is no one more oblivious than a man begging while sitting on top of a treasure chest. Your situation is exactly this. While you hold a magnificent treasure within you, that divine breath the Creator calls the soul, you are begging for a drop of love, a crumb of attention, and a splash of validation from people on the outside. Let me tell you about someone. Let's call her Aileen. She is in her mid-30s. Aileen is highly successful in her career, intelligent, attractive, and a compassionate woman. But there is an invisible hole in Aileen's heart. Since childhood, she has grown up with this belief. To be loved, I must be useful. To be loved, I must be perfect. To be loved, I must always be the one who gives. When Aileen starts a relationship, she puts herself into a servant mode. She does whatever the man says. She adjusts her schedule according to him. She calls before he calls. She explains before he asks. If the man takes one step back, Aileen takes 3 steps forward, as if closing the distance is solely Aileen's duty. But the more Aileen gives, the more the other side takes, and the further away they drift. Aileen measures her own worth by the reaction the other person gives her. If the man sends a message, Aileen is valuable. If he doesn't, she is worthless. If the man smiles, Aileen exists. If he frowns, Aileen ceases to exist. Here is the diagnosis, my dear friend. You have placed your own worth into the pockets of others. If they pull that worth out and show it to you, you rejoice. If they forget it in their pocket and walk away, you fade into nothingness. This is a spiritual bankruptcy. The masters of Sufism say, mankind's greatest illusion is seeking happiness and worth on the outside. I searched for the friend outside, only to realize he was deep within my very soul. Your constant chasing after others is not actually out of love for them. It is an escape from the void inside yourself. When left alone, you are so terrified of facing yourself that you need a noise, a chase, to drown out this silence. The person you are chasing is not actually a person to you. They are a drug. Worsi. When they show you attention, with the dopamine exploding in your brain, you say, I exist, I am valuable. When that attention is cut off, you tremble like an addict going through withdrawal. This is hard to accept. Your ego might be objecting right now. No, you might be saying, I truly love them, but true love is full. True love is the reflection of 2 whole people upon each other, not 2 halves trying to complete one another. If you do not value yourself, no one in the universe will value you. This is a law as absolute as gravity. As long as you see yourself as an easy catch, no one will ever view you as an unattainable treasure. Did Aileen's story sound familiar? If it did, take a deep breath, because the diagnosis has been made. Now, we move on to the cure, to breaking the illusion. Why are you trapped in this cycle? Why are you constantly watching films in your life shot with the same script but different actors? Because you believe in an illusion. The illusion you believe is this: if I try harder, I will be loved more. If I sacrifice more, they won't leave me. If I run faster, I will catch them. Number. In spiritual psychology, there is the law of opposites. The more you push something, the more resistance you face. The more you smother something, the more you suffocate it. Look, how beautifully the story of the two woodcutters working in the forest illustrates this great fallacy in relationships. There were two woodcutter friends. One was ambitious, frantic, and never knew when to stop. The other was calm, serene, and self-assured. They engaged in a competition. Who would cut more trees by the end of the day? The ambitious one began striking in the pitch black of the morning. Chop, chop. He never stopped, never took a lunch break. He didn't even pause to drink water. If I rest, I lose. If I stop, I fall behind, he kept saying. Covered in sweat and blood, panting heavily, he worked. The calm one, however, started at a reasonable hour in the morning. Every hour on the hour, he sat for 10 minutes, watched the sky, and enjoyed his lunch. Every now and then, he stopped, took his axe in his hand, and inspected it. When evening came, the results were counted, and to everyone's amazement, that calmly working woodcutter, who rested occasionally and enjoyed himself, had cut far more trees than the one who worked drenched in sweat. The ambitious one shouted in anger, "This is a trick. I never stopped. I struck the tree far more times than you did." "How is it possible that you win?" The calm woodcutter smiled and gave that magnificent answer. "My friend, while you were ceaselessly striking the tree, during those breaks I took, I was sharpening my axe. Because my axe was sharp, I did in one strike what you did in 10. You exhausted yourself with a dulled axe in a futile effort. This is exactly what you are doing in your relationships. By constantly texting, constantly calling, constantly fussing over, what are you doing? Where are you? Do you love me? You are striking a tree with a dull axe. You are exhausting yourself. You are tiring the other person out, and there is no result to show for it. Sharpening the axe is returning to yourself. Sharpening the axe is raising your own energy. Sharpening the axe is beautifying your own garden. You are so busy thinking about someone else that you forgot to sharpen yourself. You forgot to improve yourself, to nourish your soul, to find joy in your own company. And a dulled soul is attractive to no one. Now, we are going to do a spiritual exercise together to break this illusion. Wherever you are right now, feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Keep your back straight. Take a deep breath through your nose, hold it, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Now, right in the middle of your chest, where your heart is, imagine a pitch-black, sticky cord. This cord extends from your core and connects to that person you are currently chasing, the one occupying your mind. Through this cord, your life energy, your joy, and your peace are gushing out, flowing directly into them. That is why you are exhausted. That is why that person is energetic and indifferent. Now, visualize holding a pair of golden scissors in your hand. These are the scissors of willpower and self-respect. Take a deep breath and saying, I am calling my energy back to myself. Cut that cord. See that cord snap. Feel the energy flowing to the other side stop and feel it returning to you. What is yours is returning to you. Your light remains within you. Now let out a deep sigh of relief. You are whole. you are complete. You do not need anyone to complete you. Do this exercise whenever you feel overwhelmed. You cannot attract love to yourself without sealing off your energy leaks. Now, let us strip away the illusion of the ego and look at the situation from the exalted window of the soul. You assume that if I am flawless, they will love me. If I never make a mistake, they won't leave. This is why you wear masks. This is why you act like someone you are not. You smile even when you are hurt. You stay silent even when you are angry. Yet, do you know what Sufism whispers to us? Perfection is the greatest punishment that can be inflicted upon a human. Because growth is hidden within the flaw. Sincerity is hidden in the wound. The light seeps in through the cracks. Come, remember that famous story of the water bearer and the cracked pot. But this time, through different eyes. There was a water bearer. 2 pots hung on the ends of a pole he carried across his neck. One of the pots was flawless, shining bright. The other was old and cracked. The water bearer would fill water from the river. By the time he reached his master's mansion, half of the water in that cracked pot would have spilled along the path. The flawless pot was always proud. I perform my duty perfectly. I waste no water, it would say. The cracked pot, however, was filled with shame. I am flawed. I render my owner's efforts useless. I cannot hold the water, it cried. One day, the cracked pot could bear it no longer. It called out to the water bearer. My owner, throw me away, break me, replace me. I am completely useless. I cannot hold the water. I am wasting your efforts. I am worthless. The water bearer looked at the pot with his wise smile and said, Have you never paid attention to the sides of the path we walk? Look, the side of the path on your side is filled with vibrant flowers. The other side is bone-dry dirt. I knew about your crack. I planted flower seeds there. And every day as we returned from the river, without you even realizing it, you watered those flowers with the water you leaked. Those flowers bloomed thanks to your flaw. I gathered those flowers and adorned my master's table. If you had been flawless, none of this beauty would exist. You see, my dear friend, while you consume yourself thinking, I am flawed, I am incomplete, I am inadequate, perhaps the very thing you consider a flaw is your greatest treasure. Perhaps your intense emotionality, your quick attachments, your tendency to give too much are actually your cracks. But at the same time, they are your fountain of compassion, your healing power. The problem is not your crack. The problem is that you are pouring that water onto barren lands, onto the wrong people, who do not deserve that water and cannot see that flower. You are that cracked pot, yes, but you sprout life with the water you leak. The people you chase are perhaps only those who want to drink and consume that water, not the ones who see your potential to grow flowers. As Hazrat Ibn Arabi said, everything is known by its opposite. Your worth is revealed not by those who use you, but by the gardeners who are nourished by your leek and know the value of those flowers. Stop trying to repair yourself. Stop blaming yourself, asking, why am I like this? Say, this is how I am, and I am beautiful, just as I am. When you accept yourself, those who will kiss that crack will enter your life. Spend the energy you waste trying to hide your flaws on seeing the gifts those flaws bring. Remember, the nightingale leads to the rose, the crow leads to the dumpster. Discover the rose within yourself, your true essence, so that the nightingales, those who know your true worth, can find you. Thrashing about in a dumpster and waiting for a nightingale is futile. Up to here, everything sounds beautiful. You say, all right, I understand. I will return to myself. I will feel valuable. But I know that after you close this video, that darkness will descend. That phone will stick to your hand. That I wonder what they are doing worm will gnaw at your insides. Anyone who says this path is easy is lying. Walking this path is wearing a shirt of fire, because breaking habits causes as much pain as breaking bones. Sometimes we call this shadow work. Those initial moments when you are left alone with that void inside you, with that loneliness, that is the steepest hill to climb. In Sufism, there is khalwat, seclusion. A person withdraws from the noise of the crowds and locks themselves in a room with the monsters of their own ego. The first few days, the ego screams and shrieks. It yells, I want attention, I want validation, I want a voice. This is the withdrawal crisis of an addict cut off from their drug. You know that tightness in your chest you feel right now when you have to restrain yourself from texting someone. That pain is actually the pang of your healing. That pain is the poison being expelled from your body. It is mentioned in the notes of a traveler who met a Sufi in Africa. The Sufi would not speak for days. The traveler asked, why do you remain silent when you have so much wisdom to share? The Sufi replied, they say speech is silver, but silence is golden. But that is not the issue. I injure my soul by wasting my words on ears that are not ready to hear them. I remain silent so that my soul may steep. I remain silent so that when I do speak, my words strike the target like an arrow. You too will now enter a fast of silence. This is not a method of punishment. This is withdrawing to lie fallow. Think of a field. When the soil is exhausted, the farmer does not plow it, does not sow it. He leaves it fallow. The soil rests, basks in the sun, drinks the rain, and replenishes its minerals. You have plowed, sown, reaped, and exhausted those fields of relationships for years. Now is the time to lie fallow. Remaining silent towards the other person is not applying a tactic against them. It is leaving your own soil fallow. But what if they forget me? Whispers that cowardly voice, doesn't it? Let them forget. Someone who will forget you simply because you didn't remind them of yourself. Never truly remembered you in the first place. Someone who assumes you exist only because you are right in front of their eyes. Never truly took you into their heart. True bonds are tied with invisible threads. The saying, out of sight, out of mind, is for those whose hearts are shallow. For one whose heart is deep, distance is merely a detail. During this shadow process, you will hurt. You will feel lonely. Perhaps you will cry. Cry. Those tears will wipe away the rust inside you. But do not, under any circumstance, reach for that poisonous bottle, that person, again just to numb the pain. Walk through the pain. Walk through the pain so that you can meet the free you on the other side. So, how will we manage this process? How will we become the one who attracts rather than the one who chases? The cure is not in strategies, but in a change of state. Remember the story of the rich American businessman and the Mexican fisherman. This story is not only about wealth, it is also about love. The rich man tells the fisherman, work harder, buy bigger boats, build a giant fleet, make millions. The fisherman asks, then what will happen? The man replies, then you retire. You settle in a coastal town. You fish at your leisure, play with your kids, watch the sunset with your wife. You sleep in peace. The fisherman laughs. Well, That is exactly what I am doing right now. You act like that rich man in your relationships. First, I must acquire them. I must convince them. I must fit the relationship into a mold. I must get married. I must do this. Then I will be happy. No. Be like the fisherman. Be happy now. Be peaceful now. The practical prescription is this. First, change your point of focus. Energy flows where attention goes. As long as your attention is on them, your energy flows to them and feeds them. It drains you. Turn your attention to yourself. Learn a new language. Go to that course you've always postponed. Exercise your body. Rearrange your room. Do not just keep yourself busy. Build yourself. Second, goodness without expectation. If your heart is pure, your story ends happily. As we said, do not do a good deed to see a return. If you do, that is not goodness. It is a transaction. Do goodness because it is your character. A flower does not smell sweet so that the bee will come. It smells sweet because its nature is to smell sweet. Live out your true nature. Third, the power of letting go. In Sufism, there is the station of relinquishment. Relinquishing is not leaving physically. It is mentally letting go of the desire to possess. When you truly release something, that thing begins to flow towards you. Relinquish control, surrender. Say, if it is meant for me, it will come. If not, it will go. Say this sentence not just with your tongue, but with all your cells. Now let us think of Aylin again. Aylin applied this prescription. She put her phone aside. She started jogging in the mornings. She went to the painting course she had neglected for a long time. She set tables where she laughed with her friends. In the evenings, she lit her candle, read her book, listened to her music. Aylin's aura changed. That needy vibration vanished. In its place came a self-sufficient, radiant woman. And do you know what happened? That man, who wouldn't reply to her messages for hours, felt this change in Aylin. Because that energy cord had been cut, and the man could no longer feed off it. He grew curious. What happened to this woman? Why isn't she chasing me anymore? Why is she so happy? And the man started calling. But do you know what the more important thing was? When the man called, Aylin did not get as excited as she used to. Because Aylin had found happiness not in the man calling her, but within herself. The man's call was merely the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. This is the destination you will arrive at. When they come to you, you will no longer have a need for them. Only then will a true and healthy relationship begin. And now we have reached the summit of our journey, the door to that great secret. Are you ready? Do you know why you should not chase after anyone? Because sustenance is not merely bread, it is not merely water. Romance is also sustenance. Love is also sustenance. Friendship is also sustenance. And the Creator is the guarantor of sustenance. Just as when you were born, even before you had teeth, milk descended into your mother's breast, just as sustenance finds you even if you do not chase after it. That true love, which is the sustenance of your soul, will also find you. Allah has the name Al-Wadud, the one who loves and is worthy of being loved. He is the source of love. When you could connect to that source, to that ocean, why do you ask for water from the small, dirty cups in the hands of people? If we look through the profound vision of Ibn Arabi, the lover and the beloved, that is, the one who loves and the one who is loved, are actually one. When you love yourself, when you honor that divine fragment within yourself, the entire universe honors you. You are valuable. This is not a motivational quote. This is an ontological truth. You are the apple of the universe's eye. You are the vicegerent on earth. For you to chase after others is as absurd as a sultan chasing after his slaves. Place your crown upon your head and sit upon your throne. Your throne is your heart. When you sit upon that throne, self-assured, peaceful, and with a pure heart, when you radiate beauty generously, without expectation, simply by existing, just like that small peach tree, not only that person, but everyone and everything similar to them, better than them, and anyone who will know your worth will be drawn toward you. The magnet does not go to the iron comes to the magnet. You are love, you are the magnet. Know your place, know your bounds, meaning know your worth and trust in your Lord. If your heart is pure, if your intention is genuine, if you can love yourself because of the one who created you, yours is the only story that has no possibility of ending unhappily. Winter ends, spring arrives, night ends, the sun rises, and that beautiful heart, the one that is patient, the one that surrenders rather than gives up, the one that invites rather than chases, will undoubtedly reach its desire. This is the promise of the heavens. Now, to seal this truth, place your hands over your heart and say Amen to this prayer with me. O my Lord, the owner of hearts, honor me with knowing my own worth. Make me one of those who overflow with love. Close my heart to what is not good for me and open it to what is good. Grant me the courage to let go of what needs to leave and the wisdom to be prepared for what is meant to come. Make me reliant on your love, not on the attention of your servants, and crown my story with the most beautiful ending, with the most blessed reunion. Amen. My dear friend, let this video be the first day of your new life. No more running. Now there is waiting, but not with pain, with a confident anticipation, because you are worth the wait. If these words touched your soul, if they stoked the fire within you, please do not forget to leave a like and a comment and start watching the miracles unfold in your life. May your path be clear, your heart pure, and your story happy. Farewell.